This is Hidden Killers Week in Review.
A look back at the most prolific stories of the week.
Welcome to the podcast. If you'd like to listen to an ad-free version of this episode and all of our episodes, then search True Crime Today Premium Plus on Apple Podcasts and press subscribe. That's our premium channel where all of our ad-free and advanced episodes live, all in one place. True Crime Today Premium Plus. Search it on Apple Podcasts and press subscribe. Even try it for 3 days free.
The evidence is gone, but the nightmare continues. Welcome to Hidden Killers with Tony Brueski, featuring former prosecutor and defense attorney Eric Faddis.
The world of Diddy is what we're going to jump into, as it seems to be kind of a weekly thing now here on the program. 6 new accusers. That's what we're seeing from Tony Busby, but that's just the tip of the iceberg of what's coming in this week. Accusations of sexual violence after someone saying that maybe you were involved in the murder of Tupac. That's coming out on a civil case, as well as many others. Joining us to discuss, Eric Faddis, defense attorney, former prosecutor. Give me some insight here. If you're the defense attorney of Sean Combs, I mean, this stuff just keeps pouring in. How would you handle this? I mean, you probably need an army at this point to be handling the volume of claims that are coming in.
Yeah, it is just a deluge of accusations and alleged evidence, that kind of thing. You know, I think his defense team is going to take a number of positions. One is that a lot of this stuff didn't happen, they're going to say. He's a rich, powerful dude. People are trying to get money from him. Mm-hmm. If it did happen, it was consensual. And if you're saying it wasn't consensual, then someone other than Diddy was really at the helm and involved. I really think that is going to be the structure of their defense paradigm going forward.
How are they going to do that, though? I mean, there's so many accusers. How do you, I mean, obviously they're going to say they're all lying, but in reality, you got this many, there's some that are real. There has to be, and probably a good chunk as well. So not only from a defense standpoint, but also from, the prosecution standpoint, trying to bring these cases to have some legitimacy, to prove that they even took place. Some of these go back to like 1998. There is no digital footprint with that. The evidence, it's going to be, hearsay to a certain extent. What is going to be the key pieces that give some of these cases like some sort of solid ground of legitimacy as they try to argue their points?
These cases, just by their very nature, rely very largely on witness testimony. And so the government is going to have to get some witnesses who appear credible and compelling, remember details. And then they're going to sort of cross-reference those witnesses' accounts with factual evidence they have. Perhaps they have pictures from older events. Perhaps during the raids, they took pictures of, rooms in which things allegedly occurred. And they're going to try to match that objective evidence up with the subjective evidence that the witnesses will present.
So, for example, we did see pictures just the other day here of the younger accuser who was 16 at the time. I believe it was 1998. He claims that Combs molested him while he was 16 at a white party of his. Claims that he was also targeting other minors there. And we see the picture. He was there. That we can prove now, at least. But now we're going to have to go into it. Well, it's a picture, a claim. It's not like a picture necessarily of him engaging in any sort of act with this accuser. But that's where you're saying the other witness testimony may come into play. Like if this was kind of like how we're hearing his style of kind of an orgy-ish type thing going on, other people who may have been there saying, hey, I remember him there too. But who's going to want to raise their hand and say, I was there at the Diddy orgy. I bet I saw him there too. That's quite a witness that would come forward to even admit being anywhere near this scene.
Yeah, you wouldn't win any popularity contest, but nowadays by saying you attended a Diddy party. They're going to look at that photo. One approach is to look at that photo, see if anyone else is depicted, identify those folks, go and interview them. Okay. And it's really going to come down to these details investigatively that they're going to have to pursue. And it's going to be an uphill battle. Some of these folks will probably have moved, perhaps have died. So it's not going to be easy to prove, especially these older allegations.
And location is something that is important as well, as far as recalling location, recalling what did these scenes look like at the time they took place? Obviously, if you go into one of these rooms today, it probably doesn't look exactly the same as it did in 1998. Wild guess. Today, it probably looks different. But if you have images, if you have other people who can corroborate what those rooms looked like, what this scene was where this alleged assault took place, how powerful is that if other people can say, yeah, I remember that room too, it looked like this, and something similar happened to me in this sort of a space? I mean, almost like we did see with the R. Kelly accusations, basically people describing his little lounge lair with the hot tub in the basement with the award in the background. That seems to be very powerful in that case of people saying, yeah, I was violated in that room. Are we going to see similar type things here with the Diddy case?
Yeah, I think one approach is to, you have this criminal allegation, and then you have just surrounding details and circumstances. And so you try to corroborate those surrounding details and circumstances through witness, through other photographs. Maybe you look into magazines from that time. Maybe there is, video or photographic depiction of what happened, and you get as many consistencies as you can. And you tell the jury, hey, they're right on all of these consistent circumstances and details, makes it more likely that they're right about the incriminating allegation.
Strap in and get ready to go back in time. Gen X Time Machine is here to transport you back to the glorious days of neon, big hair, and cassette tapes that always needed rewinding.
To figure out where Tupperware went wrong, we kind of got to start at the beginning.
Remember when MTV actually played music videos? Or when lunch wasn't complete without Dunkaroos? Yeah.
Yeah, a little bit like trying to recapture the magic of a bygone era.
Yeah.
We're diving into all that and more. So if you want to relive the 80s and 90s in all their retro glory, hit up Gen X Time Machine wherever you get your podcasts.
VHS is looking like the obvious winner, right?
Oh, and don't forget the rise of the video rental store, remember?
Subscribe, because who doesn't need another excuse to avoid adulting? You're welcome. The Gen X Time Machine.